Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am back. This is Breaker SC2 and I am going to give you a cast of a replay that I took from the front page of drop.sc. Now since we do have a little bit of fill-in time, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of things that have just been kind of mixed up in my mind right now. Some things that I guess you could say have been upsetting me previously, but I just got done watching a very, I feel, influential film. Just the opening quote line, if you will, was something along the lines of, and yes, this is kind of a spoiler alert if you guys have seen the film, I just got done watching Run All Night. But enough about that. In the upper right hand corner, spawning as our Red Zerg at the 3 o'clock position, he is a barcode. And I hate doing this. I hate introducing players as barcodes because it's a little bit, it's more than just a little bit anticlimactic. It's very anticlimactic, but enough about that, enough about that. In the lower left-hand corner, spawning as our Blue Terran, he is Boreal Legend. Boreal Teams. Legend. Up until this point in time, I think I've been blaming a lot of my lack of success on others, if you will. And it's true, I could go on the rest of my life doing that. As a caster, yes, a good deal of your career success will depend on your connections. Half of it is how good you are as a caster, the other half is who you know. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I've seen the best of both worlds. Nathanius is the best example of the most qualified, but even then he had just a little bit of help in one of his interviews with Richard Lewis. What do you do? That's a random question from our barcode, but it's nice to break the silence this way. This is a very big map, now that we stop and think about it. In fact, the choke is very wide open. I know this is a little bit funny, but I've been Hellion run by before on this map. But luckily I had so many Lings and so many Queens that the guy went in and, he wasn't really smart enough to expend the Hellions in exchange for drone kills. He killed mostly nothing but Lings, and he left one of my Queens alive. And now these guys are just talking fluff, if you will, trying to pass the early phases of the game. I don't blame them, as this is a very, very large map. Back to that movie quote I remember watching. It was from Run All Night. Your life will not flash before your eyes when you're dying. It's all the regrets, the things that you didn't do, the things you didn't do your best or try to do or try to make right, that will really flood before your very eyes at the end of your life. I forget the exact, I can't take the exact quote as I don't remember what it was, but now these guys are talking. Ooh, now I'm doing PhD in physics. Business cusk. Sucks. Well, alright. Once you land a job, you want to kill yourself? Well, macro eco, okay, I'm gonna, sorry guys, I have to stop that, but I guess, you know what, for your entertainment purposes, I'll let you go ahead and watch the chat between these two guys. Sorry about that. So Natural Expo is now going for Legend here, as is perfectly normal. I feel as though it's a little bit gaudy to go ahead and skip the gas and go straight into Marine production, but this is a very big map. I think it's something he can get away with, especially given the fact that he is already scouted his opponent. Checking the natural right now, there's a bunker going down, but there's nothing following it up, so this is basically just meant to force his opponent to produce Lings that he can't really use at this moment. Metabolic boost will be done, I imagine, by the 6-7 minute mark max. It was salvaged, and it was worth, because in this peculiar instance, aside from losing an SCV, our Terran also lost 25 minerals, and that was it. So he lost 25 minerals in exchange for his opponent spending 6 larvae on Lings altogether. No, I'm sorry, 5 larvae on Lings, which means 150 minerals. It's just a small difference, if you will. But at the same time, our barcode doesn't, I feel, overspend by too terribly much. It's about a 25 mineral difference once you stop and think about it. Excuse me, 75 mineral difference. But that bunker should be done, if not close to done, by the time these Lings arrive here at the natural. And in the background, metabolic boost is about 50% done. The gas is still being taken full blown and swung, if you will, by the drones on the extractor. I'm wondering if this is going to be a Baneling Nest follow-up or if this is going to be double upgrades or something like that, but this is a big mistake brought on by our Terran, and it is being exploited to the max. That third is going to be delayed just a teeny bit, and I mean, For 150 minerals, this really isn't too terribly bad of an investment. This is a free, well, I wouldn't say a free scout, but this is a very seldom seen scout. Slow Ling's getting into a Terran's main. He's able to get a full-blown read into this, and he knows that it's going to be something much to the tune and rhythm of a 1-1-1. Now the Lings have their metabolic boost done. They're going to continue running around just seeing what's going on here. But for the time being, our Zerg gets away with the knowledge that his opponent's going to be going into 3-base macro mode. But wait a minute. There is a Roach Warren going down right now. There's no move towards a 3rd base just yet from our Zerg. Oh, man. I'm not going to say this is some form of a timing attack, but this is something that can do a lot of damage if our Terran isn't prepared. Because look at what there is not right now. There's no tech lab attached to this barracks. With no tech lab, you can't make Marauders. Without a factory with a tech lab attached to it, you cannot hope to make tanks. SCVs are trying to stay alive in all of this, but now, beyond this, our Zerg, as long as he's clicking on these buildings in construction, he will know that they are factories, and to make up for this, it looks like he's going to go for, there it is, 9 roaches in production. This is a Roach Bane timing attack. Now for our Zerg to get away with this, to make it worth his time, he's gonna have to get 35 worker kills, bare minimum, while our Terran is already at 33. He's gonna let me rephrase this in words that are just a little bit more easy to understand. If our Terran has less than 10 workers at the end of this attack, then it will be well worth it for our Zerg to have expended this many resources. But I feel as though this is not going to be all in, which is why the gold base is being taken at this peculiar location. This is going to stun our Terran, allow our Zerg to get some time to put up creep and things of that nature, get his infrastructure going just a little bit better. But there's 28 Lings on the way. This could also be a very good reinforcement hatch, but there's no queen attached to it. Here we go. Those roaches are parked right outside the natural. Our Terran has no clue what is coming at him right now. The last time he had a scout on his opponent's main was when he sent that SCV in around the 2-minute mark. The Banelings are morphing at the front door, and more are following it up. This wall is going to get broken down. There's no extra bunkers going down. Legend is in a world of hurt if he cannot hold against this. He doesn't have anything that he needs to defend with just yet. The first, oh my god, the first 2 tanks are here. This might be doable. But he has to hit as many Banelings and Roaches as he can. If he can get all the Roaches, he'll do well on the defense. There it goes. The wall goes back up. The Marines, the Banelings are like, okay, Marines 3, we don't need to worry about that. We need to break into the main. There it goes, the wall up again. Beautiful defense as the Banelings detonate. Just a little bit, not quite enough to get into the main. The SCVs at the natural are now being assaulted. And the Hellions are coming back to rebel and tank for the tanks on the high ground. Bait out those roaches one by one. At this point, the command center at the natural can simply lift up, kind of laughing, saying, hey guys, you can't touch this. Literally. But to this stage in the game, I'd say that our barcode has definitely not inflicted the damage that he really needs to make this game ending. Those 2 tanks, now 3, are doing so much work against all of these roaches, and the Hellbats doing so much in the way of tanking for those tanks. Will 1 fall? 1 will fall. Will 2 fall? 2 will fall, but it looks like our Zerg will be hard-pressed to make that 3rd go down. Speaking of going down, Legend lands his natural, and he's good to go. How many workers did he lose there? Only 11. Our Zerg is in a lot of trouble, but thankfully he did take the gold base. That is a better insurance policy than anything Geico could offer. Sorry about that. That was just that was kind of a silly plug-in, if you will. But he had to pull workers from his main, and I think a few from his natural to actually make up for that. So his main and nat are not fully saturated, and our Terran is just now landing his 3rd. This is going to be mech versus roaches as we head into the mid game. 4th base, I don't know what to say to that positioning. The scan does come from our Terran. He reveals that, well, he gets no new information from the main. If he scanned the natural, that's where all the tech is. He would have some instinct that's what his opponent has with the follow-up, but of course, nothing really big has changed. All that he knows from that last attack, he did survive, by the way, quite well, I might add. He knows that his opponent has roaches. Now the defense at the third, it's very, very exposed. I feel like there's nothing in position to defend it, but at the same time, our Terran realizes that what is at that third base is so very little in the way of number. It's worth it to lose every single SCV if he just has to lift off this orbital command. Missile turret's going to be picked off first. +1 missile attacks, and Carapace is on the way in the background. An infestation pit's coming down as well. This leads me to believe that we'll be seeing Swarmos, excuse me, I stuttered there for a minute. Hellbats are coming in to deal with these roaches, and it looks like this probably won't be cleaned up. But the tanks are moving out along with the Thors and a couple more Hellbats. Is this meant to be a counterattack? This is a very, very dangerous move. If Legend is able to pick off this gold base, then hell yes, this is paid for itself. But at the same time, I think he stands to lose all of this army. But as I say that, we do have nothing but drones coming out from our barcode. He does see what's coming at him now, and he realizes, okay, I've got to be able to defend against this Hive Tech. Very, very holy Hive Tech, Batman. That is 14-minute Hive Tech. The roaches are coming back home now as they realize that they have to be able to defend against this. The Overlord does fall, and now this is a beautiful position to be in if you are our Terran. That clean looks like it's pretty much forfeit. We'll deliver one last inject. Those two tanks are parked there. 3, beautiful spread position. These two Thors are going to be doing a splendid job of tanking damage for the tanks, but I feel like this won't quite be enough. Some workers were pulled off of the natural, and now they are going to rebel against the tanks. This is pretty much cleaned up now for our Zerg. So who's got the lead now? It's a little bit difficult to say. Terran does have a slight worker deficit, but at the same time, Terran has mules. So in that regards, they're able to slide back into the game just a little bit easier. But here comes round number 2. +2 on the way from our Zerg. And this is a lot more Hellbats and tanks than what he had encountered previously. Scan goes down on the gold, finally revealing it. Now the question is, what happens at this point? We've got a lot of roaches here. Yes, there's a Hellion on the high ground. It's just poking away at that mineral line. I don't think he realizes just what kind of heated situation he is in now as the natural is being jabbed at yet again. This is where half of his army is going to come from, and now that he has dealt with that one Blue Flame Hellion on the high ground, he's going to have to deal with a whole lot of the Hellbats in his natural. Oh man, the workers, they just keep on falling left and right, and these Hellbats are going to do such a great job of tanking for the siege tanks, which will do a lot of sniping damage to these roaches should they come in and try to rebel. Workers at the natural just being absolutely roasted. Second queen does come to the natural, and it's taken down quite quickly, I might add. 38 workers killed by our Terran to this stage in the game. Vipers are now coming into the mix, I might add. Lightning clouds going down on all of this, and I think, oh my god, this is all covered in green bile. The tanks look like they're slated to fall, and now we know why he rushed that Hive Tech. He wanted the Vipers out on the map. Those tanks are still unoperational, and it looks like the defense just might happen, but there are 5 Hellbats heading into the main, ready to light up any number of drones that might be unsuspecting of their doom. It's time to pull drones, bro. It's time to pull drones. These aren't dronies, and those aren't bronies. But a 4th base got started behind this, and there's a planetary fortress. Sweet mother of pace, Batman. I am loving this. Thor just keeps on going to work here. This is the only problem I have with gold on this base. We just saw in the past 2-3 minutes of the game our barcode go from 70 workers now to 50. And it goes on. The beat goes on. +2, just about to finish up for our Zerg. +3 vehicle weapons now on the way for our Terran. But that is a lot of roaches. That's 117 army supply worth of roaches and Vipers at this peculiar location. The tank spread is wonderful, yes, but it looks like it simply may not be enough, especially with roaches accompanying Vipers at this peculiar location. Look at this! Thors are about to get knocked out. The tanks are getting just absolutely wrecked by the roaches on the ground, and now the last Thor is about to be knocked out. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to say this game is all but over, but look at the third base. The natural should be going dry right about now. In fact, it is, to the point that almost all workers have been pulled from it, as well as the main. What's the next move for our barcode? Is he going to go for the planetary? It looks like he may just do that. Hellions are now desperately looking for that attack path, if you will, where they should be able to break through, but that is a nice little did you know of the day. If a blinding cloud goes down on top of a planetary fortress, it will not attack roaches. That is something new I learned. Orbital command looks like it's about ready to land at the third again, but this is 200 supply in roaches, and I don't think they're going to let that happen. Gold base is looking to get roasted again. Our Terran amazingly has 41 workers, but most of them have just been, how do I say this, they're scatterbrained. They're all at the natural, and now the defense is going to be hard fought at the natural. That is a lot of blinding clouded tanks at this peculiar location, and they are not firing anything. A little bit of micro here from Legend might be able to help him out a little bit more, but it looks like I think even unsieged and unblinded, those tanks would not be able to deal out enough damage. Ladies and gentlemen, a scan comes down from our Terran, revealing all base locations, trying to figure out what is coming from his opponent. He says, hey man, I just can't do it anymore, GG. This is one crazy ZVT. I haven't seen one of these in a long time, guys. I really hope you all enjoyed this cast. Maybe leave me some feedback, some objective feedback, not trash feedback, in the comments below. I'll do my best to reply to it and absorb it and put it into my head. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Breaker SC2. Thank you for watching.